destination declutterers. So I decided to do a impromptu Friday motivation because I was inspired by the beautiful weather we have been having lately. That's not going to last as much as long as we want. And an inspiration that might help you when you're thinking about your own decluttering. And here's how it goes. Decluttering your home is just like weeding your garden. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. I actually thought of this when I went outside to weed my own. It's not really a garden. I guess it's a garden because stuff grows in it, like the front like strip where there's plants. That is not the lawn. Um, and I was thinking about this using the destination decluttered road trip approach to doing that project. And here's what I came up with. So I decided before I even started, I said, okay, I have a certain amount of time that I can work today. And what is my destination? What is my destination for today for the time I have? I said, I want it to look better, right? So, what does better look like? Better defining it, getting the details. Better looks like get the weeds out of there, get the leaves out of there. Ideally, at some point, trim up We've got yuccas in front of the house, so trim the yuccas, all the dead part of them, and then put some mulch down and have it be done. Right. So all those details are going to be on destination, like finally getting there, destination better. But do I have time to do them all day? No, but I have time to do some of it, right? So then I decided, what am I going to do? I'm going to spend like an hour, maybe an hour and a half out there because the weather's nice. And I also had this kind of a, what do I want to say, like that kind of sense of urgency, almost like you might get when you're having people over for the holidays and you're like, oh, I have to clean up because. And, maybe you're getting that if you celebrate Easter, maybe this weekend you're doing that. And my motivation was that the weather was beautiful. We had storm clouds coming, so I knew at a certain point I couldn't do this. And then the weather wasn't supposed to be as great after the storm. Funny thing is that it looks wicked nice out right now. So, anywho, go figure, Mr. Weatherman. So, I had my destination of better. I had the milestones that I could do, and then I applied the rules of decluttering with the destination decluttered approach. So what does that mean? I set my timer for 20 minutes. I knew an hour and a half, 20 minutes. What can I get done in 20 minutes to remind myself of this? And then I started with like items together. This is something that I know from my years as a retail visual merchandiser. And so I started with doing all of the same things. So first I went through all of the weeds that were almost as big as my yucca plants, right? So did all those. Then I said, okay, now I'm going to get the smaller weeds that are green. I'm not going to get really detaily, but I'm going to get the other bigger green weeds. I'm going to pull them up. So I did those. So I stayed focused. I didn't start to do one little section perfectly. I kind of said, I picked a section. I said, I want to get it better. So big green weeds, small green weeds, and then rake out the oak leaves, anything that wasn't a yucca, basically. I raked out the leaves, and then bag up the leaves and put them in the bag, the stuff. So that kind of like batching the stuff. Now I know some people often say, well, I kind of do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit, and you can do that. I mean, you are the one who decides how you want to drive your car. But think about if you want to make the most of the time you have, the best thing to do is stay focused on one particular thing so you can get that done. That's my approach, and it's a lot better. I mean, it's like driving. You just drive straight, you do all that one, then you do another one, as opposed to going like this and going, oh, I think I'll go over here, I think I'll go over there. Okay? So set my alarm, did that. And yeah, what else was I thinking about when I was doing that? I was getting it done really quickly. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew when I was done. Like I knew when all the big green weeds were done. I was done with that part, and then I would go and then I would do the small things. And then I was doing the leaves. And because I had my idea in mind of how I wanted it to look and knowing what I was going to get done, when I was done with my time, like my timer went off and I'm like, okay, I'm surprised actually at how much I did in 20 minutes. I hit 20 minutes again, did it, to just remind myself that the time was passing. And especially where I knew when it was getting later that I needed to wrap it up because my time was over because the clouds were coming. I sound like I'm rambling, but please, I just wanted to share this with you. So I got stuff done. And what did I write down? Yeah, big weeds, smaller leaves. So at the end of it, was it perfect? Hell no. Was it completely done? Was the whole thing done? Blah. Hell no. I only had like an hour, hour and a half maybe. But was it better? Hell yeah. It was better than when I started. Oh my gosh. I had like 6 bags of leaves. I'm actually going to try to do a thing on TikTok where I show the before and after photos. We'll see if that works. I had like 6 gigantic bags of leaves and weeds and stuff that I was able to get down and give to the recycle place. Not only was it better than when I started, when I start again to get to that better, where it's, I'm cutting up the yuccas and I'm getting the mulch down, I will be already that much closer because I started this. So I say this to you because sometimes we think I can only do it if I do the entire job at one time. If I have a giant swath of time to do things, I'm going to wait until I have this big thing. I'm not going to do anything till I have this big thing and I'm going to do it all. And I am telling you, it's so much better to literally just do a little bit at a time when you're able to do the time. It feels better. It's as I said, it's not perfect, but it looks better, and I feel better for having shown up for myself because I kept on looking at those weeds going, oh my God, the weeds are bigger than my yucca plants. I got to do something about this. And I did. I showed up for myself. I feel better. It looks better. And that is how weeding your garden is like cleaning your house. So pick a destination, define it, define the details, write down those details, figure out how you can get to any of those milestone details in the time that you have, set your timer, attack one part of it, stay focused on that, and then go on to the next and the next. See how that is? And here's a fun thing. I'm going to ask you, where does this fall apart? Where does this not apply to you and your decluttering? Where does this say, well, that's okay for you, Beth, Maud, Betty. You could do that, but that wouldn't work for me because XYZ. So I'm curious for you to tell me if this idea, this process would not work for you, okay? Email me, put it in the comments, whatever, all right? Have a great weekend. I have part 2 of this, actually, because I had another thing that came to me. Again, I got inspired when I was out doing this stuff. I have part 2 will show up on Monday. It will probably look very similar to this because I'm going to be away for the weekend for the holiday, and I'm going to just record the one for Monday shortly after this. Okay. But anyhow, have a wonderful weekend. Weed your life. Just destination weeding. I don't know. But have a good one. Hope this helps, and I will see you later.